Hi guys, and welcome to the webpage for the BTEC Level 3 Award for Deliveries of Physical Intervention into the Private Security Industry. This is the award that you need if you're going to teach physical intervention to door supervisors in the security industry. You cannot teach physical intervention to door supervisors without this award. It's an absolutely mandatory requirement that you actually have this award. Now the award itself is a 35-hour award, which is basically 4 days training, which is why we nest it inside our advanced award, which means that you can do this award and we can take you on to learn more advanced stuff, which can stand you in good stead later on. But I'll come back to that, if I may, in a minute. Now there's other qualifications you need in addition to this if you're going to teach physical intervention to door supervisors as part of their licensing award. You need petals and you need conflict management. But if you read the information below, it will explain to you exactly what you need in terms of those two qualifications and also what's required in terms of sector competence. The business benefit of doing this award, obviously, is that all door supervisors now have to do physical intervention as part of their licensing course, and it can't be taught to them unless you possess this award. So by having this award, you open up a business opportunity in the security industry, which is a massive industry, to enable you to teach physical intervention to door supervisors and other security professionals. Also this year, door supervisors who are renewing their badge have to actually have this physical intervention module. So there's an upskilling opportunity there for you, which is why this qualification is a beneficial one to have in terms of your business. Now when you qualify with us, you'll get a BTEC Level 3 qualification, which is the one you need, and you'll also get an NFPS certificate that shows you're in date. Make sure, even if you don't decide to train with us, that when you train with whichever training provider you train with, that they can give you the BTEC or equivalent and their own training certificate, and they must be on the approved trainers list on the SIA website. So just check to make sure they're on there. We're up there, you can check us out, by all means, please do so. A benefit of training with us though is we will give you all the course material that you need to run this module free of charge. So once you've paid to do the course with us and you've done this award, we will give you all the course materials, student workbooks, PowerPoint presentations, IV checklists, manuals, everything and anything you need to deliver that Unit 4 PI module and then submit all of your paperwork to the awarding bodies. There is no other charges involved. It's completely free of charge when you train with us. And you do not have to come back to us to buy other manuals or workbooks or any other thing at all. We give that all to you free, and it's all on a printer's demand basis. So you can save an awful lot of money by actually training with us and taking that offer up. One of the things to bear in mind though about the SIA is the scope of what's allowed to be taught, because you have to be very mindful here. If you teach anything outside that scope, then you could be investigated and struck off by the Security Industry Authority. So their scope states, and I'm going to read it from the screen on my right here, so excuse me as my eyes tilt, in their coverage classification of non-restrictive and non-aggressive interventions, it states quite clearly that non-restrictive and non-aggressive interventions allow a greater degree of freedom where the subject can move away from the physical intervention if they wish to. This would include prompting and guiding an individual to assist them walking, also defensive self-protection interventions. Generally speaking, a non-restrictive intervention is applied with the cooperation and consent of the person concerned. Now what that means is this, and this is what they've stated in the SIA's coverage explanation of non-restrictive non-aggressive interventions. What it means is this: if the technique, and I'm quoting from their own words here, if the technique starts to become restrictive, i.e. applied against the consent of the person being held, that it is falling outside of the scope of the SIA/ awarding body requirements for physical intervention. So let's just make this absolutely clear. If you teach anything that is restrictive, which is basically applied against the consent of the person who's being restrained, then it falls outside the scope of what the SIA is allowing you to teach. And if you're found teaching that on an SIA approved course, then you can be closed down. So don't only look at what we're doing, obviously you're going to look at what everyone else is doing, but just bear that in mind, because we have come across agencies that teach prone restraint, they teach supine restraint, and by the way, if you want to know more about that, just check our blog site out. There's reasons outside the SIA why you shouldn't do that. Wrist locks and all sorts of things. If they are actually restraining someone against their will, it falls outside of the scope of what the SIA allows you to teach. Now I know what you're thinking, that's balmy, because the reality is on the door, we are going to get people who are going to be hugely violent and we'll have to restrain them against their will. and the SIA is saying we can't do that. Just so we're clear, the SIA scope for this qualification is for licensing purposes only. That's why the award has been produced. It's for licensing purposes only. And the SIA have made it quite clear in their communications with us and in their coverage that if a door supervisor or an agency or an employer requires them to do any additional training, then that should be covered under health and safety legislation to enable them to be trained so they can do their job as being fit for purpose. So let's get this clear. When you train door supes within the SIA scope, it's for licensing purposes only in non-restrictive and non-aggressive or least restrictive physical interventions which cannot be applied against the person's consent. If you require more training, then you need to give that training as additional training, but that can't be done whilst delivering the SIA course. That has to be a separate issue. Now here's the major benefit in training with us. When you train with us, we can give you this qualification to teach that limited scope. But we can also license you, because we do this course as part of our advanced course, to teach more advanced techniques within a national qualification framework. So you can teach a BTEC qualification that will qualify your learners in a higher level of restraint. So here's the business opportunity for you. You can train them in the SIA stuff. They will say that's not enough. You say I agree. But here's a qualification you can do that will take you further. And they're both BTEC qualifications. Now there are not many organisations that can offer you that within an awarding body framework. We can. And you get all the materials to do it free, and we can license you to run the other stuff you wish to do so. That's why we teach what we teach as part of an advanced course and not on a standalone basis. So my friend, if you're looking to actually do a credible course that will give you all the skills to teach the SIA, this is the course for you. And like I said before, there's loads of information underneath, so please take the time to look through the information, and if you have any questions, get back to us, email, telephone call, whichever you wish. Thanks for listening, and once again, please take the time to look at the information below this video. All the best.